Today I'm going to be providing you my review of Aliens Fireteam Elite, giving you 10 reasons why it's dying and why it will be dead in the water the day back for blood releases. Now this is a little bit less of a review and more of 10 reasons why it's dying, but I do feel it's the best Aliens game that has been made so far, and I do think it has the potential to be saved, but several changes will need to be implemented in the next 30 days. So if you feel like I feel on all these issues, then like the video and more so share it with the devs so the devs know that you feel the same, because if they don't do these changes soon, the game will be dead. But I'm gonna get into the problems now. So first off, we have no crouch. In a game where we're playing the hardest difficulty, friendly fire is at a level where 1 to 2 friendly fire shots reduces you from full health to revive status, coupled with the small width corridors and tunnels. The ability to crouch should have been a no-brainer. I can't name a single co-op shooter that has close to this level of friendly fire damage that didn't have crouch. Can you? Next up, we have no quick play. Besides LFG, anyone searching any given map has to have 1 out of 12 maps line up. So the players that are joining in, they all have to be on the same map. 13 if you include horde. Then they also have to have the difficulties line up as well. Problem is, it's a niche game, and it doesn't have the player base to support this many variables in trying to find a cube for a team. There should have been a quick play option for the game, since while a lot of people do use LFG, not everybody uses LFG, and people not using LFG basically had no shot in hell at finding a 3-man squad during their searches. This one is lower on the top 10, but being more universal to players, I'm listing it third. A solid 15% of the mods and builds simply don't work at all. Sure, you can use others and you can make your build with others that work, but how do you even know which one works? Some of these can be very hard to test, and for the average player, they'll just do a build later and then find out like 3 of the mods they've been using for the longest don't even work and get pissed. I was in a game with one dude who found out the gunner's max stay on target perk didn't work at all, and he just left the game saying, I'm done with this game, not playing it again. So having the mods work, another problem just on top of that is there's no way to really report these, and they don't even have any place where they say like here are the known issues. Like it'd be really helpful to know which ones they know about and are working on, and you can supply them with others so they make sure that they do and are aware of all the problems, but it's not the case. Moving on. The game was alpha tested in-house on intense difficulty. Not a lot of people know about that, but it was actually tested in-house on intense difficulty. And personally, and I think you'd feel the same, if you had to rate the difficulties, casual, standard, intense, extreme, and insane, from 1 to 10, casual would be a 1, standard would be a 2, intense would be a 4, extreme would be a 9, and insane would be a 10. And that's not even, I would really put insane at 11, but in any case, you know, the differential between intense and extreme and insane is more than significant. It is substantial, and the fact that they did their in-house testing on intense and don't have any real feel for extreme and insane has led to them not really understanding why so many players want them to adjust the difficulty. They have also recently said extreme and insane difficulties will not be lowered or nerfed in any way. Personally, I think this is ridiculous to make that statement, not giving any consideration to looking into possible changes, just flat out saying, no, we're not changing it, when all their testing was done on a much easier difficulty. So our next one kind of goes off the difficulty gap between intense and extreme, and that is most skilled players will tell you intense is like playing casual, and extreme is like, what the fuck, seriously? There is no difficulty for the skilled shooter, like the sweat shooter, to play at a level where they can win at a consistent basis if they don't fuck up and they get a good run, but also not be able to casually walk through the map not giving a fuck as they mow enemies down. So there's no real difficulty that like a tryhard can really enjoy going back to and playing in their downtime. Like, there should be like that the insane difficulty where you really have to grind to beat, but there also should be that difficulty where it's not too easy and it's not too hard that you can casually play, and that difficulty just does not exist. Next up, we have most skilled players have given up on Insane, and most have given up on Extreme as well. 1 week ago, there was over 100 LFG posts every hour, with dozens of people putting together groups for Extreme or Insane. Now, LFG has been reduced to about 50 posts per hour, and 90% of the posts are for Intense or below. I couldn't even find one on Insane when I was searching before. The other two I found were for Extreme. The completion rate for people beating Extreme did not go up, which means all of these players just decided, fuck it, it's just stupidly too hard. And that's pretty sad, because those players are off the game. Our next one is kind of going off that as well. Our only chance you have to even beat Extreme, and even less of a chance to beat Insane, is to use one of 3 positive cards. And really, it's people looking for like 2 cards. There are currently 61 potential cards, so stockpiling these cards, besides using a glitch I shared, which is a slow grind, can be a real grind. On top of that, you'll be using consumables and need some luck in your run as well, like 6 runners and 2 prowlers not spawning directly behind you while you enter an engagement. Yeah, that can happen and completely fuck up your run in a couple of seconds. This wouldn't be bad on its own. What makes it worse is since you can't even attempt Extreme or Insane without this, like you literally have no shot in hell. You'll need to go back and grind Intense for hours or days just to get another couple of the cards and consumables so you have a chance to go do a mission on Extreme again. And you shouldn't have to grind that hard to try beating a difficult. Next up, we have the devs seem to have their own path for the game and not interested in their fan feedback, and this is just my view of how I've seen it. They have no player support liaison or player ticket line that I could locate. How they answered questions from fans seems like they want to do what they plan to do, and they're not going to deviate regardless of how many of their fans want something. That was the impression I got. In a niche game like this, though, it's a good idea to listen to your fans so things that are doable can be implemented down the line, and that you're aware of the stuff that's broken in your game so you can fix it. Next up, we have due to lack of playable difficulties for skilled players, the player base for the game has been significantly reduced by 50% plus since launch and dropping quick. If they can't bring back players soon, it will be too late. The majority of players they've lost are the better players, many of which would be the ones occasionally helping less skilled players with their missions and challenges, giving them the information that they need that would make them enjoy the game more and want to play the game more, increasing the community base for the game. Because they've lost the majority of the skilled players already, the community has already taken a very strong hit and might be unrecoverable. Lastly, we have Back 4 Blood has already proved itself in the beta. Only matchmaking was an issue. They've had time to fix the matchmaking, and if it is fixed at launch, it just makes sense for players of this genre to jump from Back 4 Blood and not even try new DLCs on Aliens. At the moment, no scheduled DLC for Aliens until December, which will be after the release of Back 4 Blood, so I feel whatever they release in December will be too late to resurrect the game. If they can't increase player base now, over the next 45 days, I just see this game being dead in the water when Back 4 Blood releases. And that is my semi-review of Aliens Fireteam Elite and 10 reasons why it's dying, and if not changed soon, will be dead when Back 4 Blood releases. I hope that helps.